Hey there, welcome to Quiz Time. I'm your quiz master, Sean, and I've got 100 questions for you. General knowledge, history, entertainment, art, science, celebrities. Let's give our brains a workout, shall we? Keep our minds young and have a little fun while we're at it. What beach is sometimes called the Bronx Riviera? Orchard Beach, Rockaway Beach, or Jones Beach? The Bronx Riviera. That would be Orchard Beach. True or false? Courtship behavior is usually started by the female bongai cardinalfish, who also becomes territorial and protects the male. Is that true or is that false? Or am I just guessing? It's true. Go look it up. The fossa, the largest predator on Madagascar, is most closely related to otters, cats, or the mongoose. It's most closely related to the mongoose. Elizabeth II was born April 21st, which astrologically made her an Aries, a Taurus, or a Pisces. That made her a Taurus. Ice pops were accidentally invented in 1905 by an 11-year-old. Is that true or is that false? Accidentally. That's true. Frank Epperson left soda powder and water outside overnight with his wooden stir still in the cup. I hope he's rich. The nation with the tallest people is the Netherlands, Montenegro, or Finland. Which of those three has the tallest people? You'll find the tallest people in the Netherlands. What is an old-fashioned cocktail? Cognac, orange liqueur, and lemon juice? Beer with a shot of whiskey? Or whiskey with sugar or syrup, bitters, and water? And old-fashioned. That's whiskey with sugar or syrup, bitters, and water. Who became recognized as the Lion of the Senate? Was it Ted Kennedy? Was it Robert F. Kennedy? Or was it John F. Kennedy? The Lion of the Senate. That was Ted Kennedy. Sidereal time is measured by the rotation of Earth relative to the stars, measured by the movement of the moon, or measured by the movement of the sun. Sidereal time. That's measured by the rotation of the Earth relative to the stars. Deep-fried Pueblo chilies are one of the most popular fair foods in Texas, Colorado, or California. Deep-fried Pueblo chilies are popular in Colorado. True or false? The Anglo-Zanzibar War lasted only 38 minutes, which makes it the shortest battle in history. Is that true or is that false? That is true. What are Jobei blocks? Chinese wooden divination tools? Blocks used to keep a fire burning in traditional Chinese restaurants? Or the blocks Shaolin monks break with their bare hands? Those are Chinese wooden divination tools. Hot desking is used to describe when a secretary takes notes while sitting on her boss's lap, when employees are consistently asked to work overtime, or an office organization system where each space is available for any worker. Hot desking. It's number 3. Where a space is available for any worker. The caster board was invented in China, South Korea, or Hungary? The castor board. That was invented in South Korea. True or false? Early phone answering systems required tapes to record the messages that were left. Is that true or is that false? An answering machine using tapes? That's true. I had one. Who was the first female film director? Dorothy Arzner, Alice Guy Bloch, or Louise Fleck? The first female film director, that was Alice Guy Bloch. In football, what is a 3-4 defense? A defensive formation with 4 linemen and 3 linebackers, a defensive formation with 3 linemen and 4 linebackers, a formation of 4 linemen and 3 linebackers with several shifts of personnel. The 3-4 defense. That's 3 linemen and 4 linebackers. The origin of pickup sticks is believed to have developed from the yarrow stalks used in I Ching divination. Is that true or is that false? And that is true. In the British TV series Red Dwarf, who first played Cat? Chloe Annette, Danny John Jules, or Arnold Rimmer? First playing Cat was Arnold Rimmer. The fortune cookie machine was invented in was it the 1930s, 1960s, or 1980s? That was invented in the 1960s. Who first portrayed Elizabeth Bennet before a camera? Greer Garson, Kerwin Lewis, or Olive Thomas? And that was Kerwin Lewis. Most of James A. Michener's novels were they long family sagas set in particular geographic locales, short adventure stories, or historical and set in battles which pitted soldiers against their superior officers? They were long family sagas set in particular geographic locations. By slowing their heartbeat, sloths can hold their breath underwater for as long as 40 minutes. Is that true, or is that just unbelievably false? As it turns out, sloths can hold their breath underwater for as long as 40 minutes. NASA's countdown before rocket blastoff is inspired by which film? Frau im Mond, Metropolis, or The Day the Earth Stood Still? Frau im Mond inspired NASA. In which movie did Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire perform a dance challenge against each other? For Me and My Gal, The Bandwagon, or the Ziegfeld Follies? They danced off in Ziegfeld Follies. True or false? The Eiffel Tower was originally intended for Barcelona, but the Spanish city thought the design was too ugly, so Gustave Eiffel pitched it to Paris instead. And that is true. Sunspots are temporary spots on the sun's surface with reduced surface temperature, slang for chicken pox, or spots that remain in your vision after you look at the sun. Well, of course, sunspots are temporary spots on the sun's surface. Which Baroness Orczy novel hasn't been adapted into a movie? The Emperor's Candlesticks, A Spy of Napoleon, or The Divine Folly? and that would be the Divine Folly. True or false? Every country has an airport. Is that true or is that false? Well, one would think that every country has an airport, right? But that would be wrong. The Vatican City, San Marino, Monaco, Liechtenstein, and Andorra do not have airports. Manhattan ants are an ant species found only in New York City. Is that bogus or is that true? New York City has its own species of ant, but they do. How many craters are on the moon that are larger than 1 kilometer? 100,000, 1.3 million, or 87? Craters on the moon that are larger than 1 kilometer. There are 1.3 million humongous craters on the moon. The Gatling gun was first used in, was it used in World War I, the American Civil War, or the Spanish-American War? And that would be the American Civil War. When was the first woman elected to the American Congress? 1923, 1916, or 1940? The first female elected to the American Congress took place in 1916. The Pilgrims first landed at, was it Provincetown, Massachusetts, Plymouth, Massachusetts, or Roanoke, North Carolina? The Pilgrims first landed at Provincetown, Massachusetts. Which of these were pets of Florence Nightingale? Athena the owl, Cat the sheepdog, and Plato the cicada? Percival the terrier, Rags the cat, and Chatters the parrotlet? Or Medusa the pug, Hera the cat, and Ragamuffin the donkey? That was Athena the owl, Cat the sheepdog, and Plato the cicada. How'd you do that? Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau was nicknamed, did they call him Pet? Did they call him Trudy? Or did they call him Perry? Pierre Trudeau's nickname was Pet. In the U.S., the first Emancipation Proclamation was issued by, was it Abraham Lincoln, Lord Dunmore of Virginia, or John Adams? The first Emancipation Proclamation, that was issued by Lord Dunmore of Virginia. Who wrote the 1985 book, The Good War? Eddie Rickenbacker, Studs Terkel, or Shelby Foote? The Good War was written by Studs Terkel. The bulrush or cattail is also called what in New Zealand? Punks? Raupo? Or kombungi? The cattail in New Zealand is called the raupo. Olive oil has two sets of twin nieces called linseed, Lindsay, coconut, palm, and sesame. Is that true or is that false? That's false. What season do dragonflies represent in Japanese symbolism? Spring, autumn, or summer? Japanese symbolism. Dragonflies represent autumn. What couple collaborated to create an album called Double Fantasy in 1980? Sonny and Cher, Yoko Ono and John Lennon, or Barbra Streisand and Richard Baskin? That'd be Yoko Ono and John Lennon. Approximately 80% of the Hawaiian island of Niihau's income comes from, is it from hunting safaris, tourism, or a small Navy installation? It comes from a small Navy installation. There's only one clamshell-shaped gas station left from the original 8 that were built in the 1930s. Is that true or is that false? That's true. I didn't realize there were any. Which show had a vamp skit in the 1970s? The Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, the Carol Burnett Show, or the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour? A vamp skit in the 70s. That would be the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour. The first ranch on the Hawaiian island of Molokai was created by Elizabeth Sinclair, King Kamehameha V, or Rudolf Wilhelm Meyer. King Kamehameha V. British tanks are equipped to make tea. Is that true, or is that just plain silly? Tanks equipped to make tea, little hot plates and cups. Nah. British tanks are fitted with a boiling vessel that is commonly used to brew a cuppa, but there is no dedicated tea-making device. I actually thought it was true. The Mexican TV show El Chavo del Ocho was created by Enrique Segoviano, Carlos Villagrán, or Chespirito. El Chavo del Ocho was created by Chespirito. During the modern age, which country was the original main supplier of ice wine? Germany, France, or Austria? And that country would be Germany. Hopscotch is called what in Germany? Hinke, Himmel und Hölle, or Luce? Hopscotch in Germany is called Himmel und Hölle. Pre-1920s Chinese firecrackers were charged with, did they use flash powder, black powder, or grain dust? Pre-1920s Chinese firecrackers. They were charged with black powder. Powerful. The Statue of Liberty was a working lighthouse for 16 years. Is that true or is that false? Well, that would give it a purpose other than decoration now, wouldn't it? Which would make it true. Who voiced the title character in The Baby Snooks radio show? Shirley Temple, Judy Garland, or Fanny Brice? And that would be Fanny Brice. How many different animals have been featured in Barnum's Animal Crackers since 1902? 53, 82, or 16? Since 1902, there have been 53 different animals featured in a box of animal cookies. Michelangelo wrote a poem about how he hated painting the Sistine Chapel. Is that true or is it false? And that is true. What is the oldest still active soccer club in the world? Sheffield FC, Cambridge University AFC, or Lima CFC? The oldest still active soccer club. That would be Sheffield FC. Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon's first film collaboration was it The Best of Enemies, The Fortune Cookie, or The Odd Couple? Their first film collaboration was The Fortune Cookie. The average person has a greater chance of getting a hole-in-one than they have the likelihood of getting hit by a car. Is that true, or is that false? That's false. According to the National Hole-in-One Registry, the odds of the average golfer making a hole-in-one are 12,500 to 1. Even less if you're me teeing off. There's no chance. Wood can be welded. Is that true or is that false? You can weld wood. Well, it does seem silly, doesn't it? But it's true. You can weld wood. Who were the 3Ms? Marilyn Monroe, Mamie Van Doren, and Jane Mansfield? Or was it Marlon Brando, James Mason, and Montgomery Clift? Or was it Mickey Mantle, Rocky Marciano, and Stan Musial? The 3Ms were collectively Marilyn Monroe, Mamie Van Doren, and Jane Mansfield. Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend was first sung by Marilyn Monroe first, Jane Russell, or Carol Channing? Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend was first sung by Carol Channing. Who played Lola Lola in the 1930 film The Blue Angel? Was it Hedy Lamarr, Marlene Dietrich, or Greta Garbo? Lola Lola was played by Marlene Dietrich. The title of the movie and novel Butterfield 8 was based on a telephone exchange that provided service to high society neighborhoods of Manhattan's Upper East Side. Is that fact or fiction? That's a fact. Therefore, nonfiction. In Titanic, 1997, after kissing Rose's hand, Jack says, "I saw that in a Nickelodeon once and I always wanted to do it." What's a Nickelodeon? A motion picture theater, a magazine, or a cafe? It's a motion picture theater. The Chinese name for firecrackers, buzhu, directly translates into English as Big Bang, exploding bamboo, or artillery shot. Buzhu, exploding bamboo. What is in a Manhattan cocktail? Scotch whiskey and vermouth, gin vodka and quina lillet, whiskey, sweet vermouth, and bitters. What goes into a Manhattan cocktail? That would be whiskey, sweet vermouth, and bitters. Chopin wrote, "I should like to rob him of the way he plays my studies," about Ferdinand Hiller, Franz Liszt, or Julian Fontana. He said that of Franz Liszt. The BBC TV sitcom To the Manor Born starred Penelope Keith and Peter Bowles, Richard Briers and Felicity Kendall, or John Cleese and Connie Booth. That featured Penelope Keith and Peter Bowles. Princess Lee Radzowit was the youngest sister of Stanislav Albrecht Radzowit, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, or Grace Kelly. She was the younger sister of Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. The Kinks song, Come Dancing, was written about Ray Davies' failing marriage. Was that true or was that false? And that is false. It was inspired by Davies' memories of his older sister, Renee. Who are the title characters' friends in the Cherry Ames mystery novel series? Mimi, Vivian, Kitty, Callie, and Lola? Marie, Pearl, Jane, Joseph, and Chi-Chi? Or Gwen, Bertha, Josie, Vivian, and Mai Lee? It was Gwen, Bertha, Josie, Vivian, and Mai Lee. The Orient Express was created by was it a Belgian company, a French company, or a German company? The Orient Express was created by a Belgian company. What is the oldest active auto racing sanctioning body in the United States? NASCAR, International Motor Contest Association, or the United States Auto Club? The oldest active auto racing sanctioning body is the International Motor Contest Association. What is the fastest fish? Is it a sailfish? Is it a black marlin? Or is it the short-fin mako shark? The fastest fish on Earth is the black marlin. The Big Boy restaurants are famous for their Big Boy hot dog, Big Boy salad, or Big Boy hamburger. Big Boy restaurants are famous for their hamburgers. What is used as a tactical campfire by the U.S. military? The Tipi Fire, the Dakota Fire Pit, or the Star Fire? It is the Dakota Fire Pit. Thin clouds high in the atmosphere tend to trap heat, making the Earth warmer, reflect heat, keeping the Earth cooler, or have no effect on the Earth's temperature whatsoever. They trap heat, making the Earth warmer. Which U.S. river has been called the granddaddy of rafting trips? The Colorado River, the Snake River, or the Mississippi River? That would be the Colorado River. The hot dog is closely associated with which sport? Football, basketball, or baseball? Show up to any one of those contests? But if it's baseball, you gotta order a hot dog. When did beach weddings become widely popular? The 1950s, the 1960s, or the 1920s? Beach weddings became widely popular in the 1960s. Wiener, as an alternate term for that hot dog, comes from a reference to Vienna, Austria. Is that true or is that false? That is true. The German name for Vienna is Vienne. What is the oldest river in the U.S.? The New River, the Susquehanna River, or the French Broad River? The oldest river in the U.S. is the New River. Who is considered the founder of modern camping? Thomas Hiram Holding, John James Audubon, or J.T. Edison? The founder of modern camping is Thomas Hiram Holding. Several cities in Italy have banned kebabs. Is that true? Or is that too far-fetched to be true and must be false? That cities ban kebabs. It's true. The reason is to preserve traditional Italian culinary culture. Well, you can't have those kebabs here? Nobody will eat pasta. I don't know. What was the middle name of George Grinnell, who founded the first Audubon Society? Was it Grant, Audubon, or Bird? And that would be Bird. Go figure. A portable round tent is called what by the Mongolians? Is it a yurt? Is it a khorlo? Or is it a gur? A portable round tent? The Mongolians called those a gur. The old weather adage, the sharper the blast, the sooner 'tis past, has some validity. Is that true or is that false? True. When a storm builds rapidly, it's stronger and blows through much faster than when it builds gradually. The drop knee bodyboard riding form was first pioneered in the late 1970s by, was it Tom Morey, was it Jack the Ripper Lindholm, or was it Ian Carnes? And that was Jack the Ripper Lindholm. What type of rope knot is referred to as the king of all knots because of its usefulness? The sheet bend, the clove hitch, or the bowline? And that would be the bowline. Cowbane is another name for, is it the northern water hemlock, the nightshade, or the monk's hood? And that would be the northern water hemlock. George Washington wore a wig. Is that true or is it false? George Washington did not wear a wig. He never wore a wig, but powdered his red hair white as white hair was fashionable. Certain herbs are best gathered under moonlight. Fact or fiction? That is a fact. Some herbs are pollinated by night insects, and to attract them, create the most potent oils at night. The best time to collect medicinal herbs is when they're at their most potent. The first touchscreen computer was created in, was it created in 1983, 1994, or 2007? The first touchscreen computer was created in 1983. The Starbucks name was inspired by the idea of making money and getting star reviews, the constellation Orion, which the Rig Veda calls the deer, or Starbuck, the first mate in Moby Dick. It was inspired by Starbuck, the first mate in Moby Dick. What is a kazan? A large cooking pot similar to a cauldron or boiler, a type of shirt worn by Turkish men, or a short-handled axe used in Armenia. A kazan. That's a large cooking pot similar to a cauldron or boiler. What did the ancient Greeks call the zebra? Zebroi, Equipharis, or the hippotigris? The Greeks called zebras, or zebras, hippotigris. Warm air rises in columns called, are they heat columns, thermals, or tropocumulus? Warm air rises in columns called thermals. The most toxic element is plutonium. Is that true or is that false? And that is false. Plutonium can be safely handled even with bare hands, as long as you abstain from inhaling its toxic tiny particles. True or false? A penny dropped from the Empire State Building can kill a person standing underneath it. Is that true or is that false? That's false. And question 100. The dog days of summer refer to Sirius rising and falling in conjunction with the sun, Canis Major appearing more visibly in the summer night sky, or dog packs that would more prominently scavenge during the summer in ancient Greece. The dog days of summer refer to Sirius rising and falling in conjunction with the sun. Thanks for playing Quiz Time. Drop your score in the comments, please, and like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you won't miss Quiz Time when we come out with another one. And we come out with them a lot. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you in the next one.